Hello YouTube. Oh Lord, ironically I'm doing this video today. I've been going through so much this week I ain't even know that this is pretty much the anniversary of my great grandmother's passing. Y'all know we buried her 3 years ago to this day. I remember because I started Kirby the next day. But if y'all want to hear about that story time with Kirby, go to my business channel. That will be in the description box below. But today, on the 8th day, 11th month, 2019, we're here to talk about something that my great grandmother would not approve of. Who is UTI to be darn gone pussy darn gone checking your daughter? Really? Now I know they in your house and all, but really? You going as far as to checking her hymen to see if she's a virgin? Let's go ahead and get into this hypocrisy right here. What my thoughts on this. Obviously, I think it's very problematic. Not only for the reasons of technically you cannot check to see somebody's virginity just based off of the hymen being stretched, which people have told him can be from a myriad of reasons. Like if your daughter was flexible and on a gymnastics team, her hymen can be stretched from those activities alone: bike riding, yoga, Pilates, horseback riding. There's a lot of stuff that can actually stretch the hymen. So I'm trying to figure out how is checking the hymen within itself, and who told Ti that the hymen being checked is the sole thing. Like, is we just forgetting about oral sex altogether? And this is why I say that this is not coming from a place of sincerity from a father, because number one, if it was from a sincere place from a father, wouldn't you be worried about sex, period, unprotected? Because the thing is with this, STDs are still can be contracted via oral. So I'm just thinking he's worried about whether she's going to get knocked up or is she just, out here being fully loose or whatever. But you ain't even think about the fact that orally she might not be, a virgin anymore, because people think of virginity as in the pocketbook, the sugar bowl, the plum pudding, whatever you prefer to call it in your lands or wherever you may dwell. But down in the South, you ain't thinking about whether she done a darn gone offered up the world darn gone oral pleasure, honey. So is you darn gone swabbing to see if anything is happening up in there? Not that you would be able to check, but I'm trying to figure out why did T.I. feel the need to go to the gynecologist? Because obviously, it goes back to reassuring that darn gone double standard of misogyny that he has. Because I was made aware that his darn gone sons, one of them has already been sexually active. I'm like, where the hell have I been? Where have you been? I haven't seen you a while. Bitch, I ain't no darn gone major and them done grew up to the point where they sexually act. The last time I done seen them, they were motherfucking 7, 8 years old. Now they darn gone 14, 15, 16. Darn gone one, I hate to darn gone compare it to my animal, but the mama done got the surgery. She looking like a pit bull. And then the son looking like an adorable one as well. I guess that's the one that's active. And he was big up. They said that he was actually darn gone big up in him on actually getting his virginity broken in at 14, 15 years old. But you darn gone pussy watching your daughter who's actually grown. You see why that don't make sense, T.I.? That you are not worried about your son catching an STD. Because at no point did I hear any talks of sexual education from T.I. about, and this is on both sides, from encouraging the son. Now, maybe he did when we wasn't primitive to it, but from what I'm hearing, that he's going on radios, reading out the daughter's darn gone medical reports and shit. And yeah, she might have gave you permission, so you're not necessarily in violation of HIPAA laws. But just as a parent, that is just a tacky ass motherfucking move. So you darn gone is on the radio for millions of people to broadcast your daughter's virginity. And you think that shit's cute. You think that shit's cute. Really? But meanwhile, you ain't holding your son up to the same standard. So your son can go out here being a low down, dirty dog. But your daughter has to be wholesome and pure. And you're checking the hymen. And that's it. Not that even if she was active, that it matters. But to my female subscribers, because I got like a 70% female subscriber base, what are y'all thoughts on this bullshit right here? What are y'all thoughts on T.I. going to the doctors and checking behind the daughter? Now I'm trying to wonder why the stepmama couldn't do it. Because this is T.I.'s daughter from a previous marriage. But I'm trying to figure out why Tiny couldn't go. Where is the biological mother in this situation? If this was going to happen, why we couldn't have no females do this? Why is the father going to the darn gynecologist? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is T.I. going to his daughter's gynecologist and checking for her virginity? And then here's another darn argument I want to propose. Now, because not only is you pretty much saying that you don't even want your daughter to be sexually active, but you don't even want her to be prepped. And this is another conversation that I haven't heard somebody ever mention. And the only reason I wanted to jump on this story is to get T.I. in line and also bring some sexual education to this. Because we as black people, especially black people in the South that want to get talking about in this Bible and stuff, this is what gets our children being rebellious. It's the reason why the pastor's children are always the most rebellious, because it seems like you always bring up this Christianity where you don't supposed to have sex, you don't supposed to never talk about sex. You just wait till you get married knowing damn well none of y'all living up to that shit. Half the motherfucking darn hoes be in the church Sunday morning in the same funky dresses that they was dancing in Saturday night, looking at the motherfucking pastor. Okay, I'll give them this. Half of them do change up the dresses and be darn gonna have them big old hats darn gonna take it up about 5 rows. But still be eyeing the pastor. We having pastors out here darn gonna bragging about licking the coot cat and shit. But then now we want the darn gonna change the script and act like we all holier than thou and we darn gonna pussy watching our daughters. But you ain't dick checking your sons. You ain't darn gonna telling your darn gone sons to keep the tinky winky in the pants. You ain't telling them to wait for a darn gone a woman, one woman only. But you want the darn gonna have that value on your door. And then you wonder why so many of our darn gone young brothers can be sexually assaulted and then the police don't take them seriously. Because we darn gonna encourage this type of culture where we get to the point where females can't even be seen as offended. Like this goes into so many topics that it don't make sense. Like, because T.I. strikes me as the type that he would have darn gone brought his darn gone child a first piece of coochie because he's from the South. And y'all know that darn gone deviant shit from Generation X where the son, and I know y'all don't want to admit this shit, but this is what happens in the South. When it comes to certain areas, darn gone boy becomes an age, and for the boy, you go get an old, funky, dusty, darn gone $20 prostitute for the boy. But then you want the darn gone pussy watch your door. Now, I'm not saying T.I. went as far as that far, but this is the type of culture that we as black people, cultivate. And I'm sick of this bullshit. From that to not darn gone instilling the same values in, young boys to wait until, they find the right one. And I'm not as far as, I'm not biblical, so I don't believe in that, waiting until marriage shit and, being like Tamara Mari, being the 30-year-old virgin. And then the first time you have sex, you done got knocked up pregnant. No, God, honey. That's a level of pain where it would drive the average person out the dark. Hell, might drive some of y'all to go to being a lesbian. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring up this topic in general. Is because I feel like when it comes to female, area downstairs for my females who are blessed to have their anatomies of the vajayjay. Um, we're not using toys in 2019. Like, I mean, let's have a conversation. I know this darn old topic is a little bit all over the place, but I want to bring a different narrative to this darn old subject. Because a lot of people is just getting on T.I., rightfully so, for his foolishness of darn inserting himself literally in his daughter's darn private areas by way of darn announcing her darn virginity status all over the darn radio for everybody to know. So, but I want to make light of this. What if she was to have sex toys instead? And naturally, that's going to replicate the male penis, and that's going to stretch the hymen. Would she still be in violation then? I mean, this is a serious question, and maybe T.I., if he comes across this video, I would love to know about this. So is we forbidding your daughter, who's now legally grown, from owning sex toys now? Because then you would mistake it from her darn being penetrated. Because I'm thinking, for females who are grown and want to eventually engage in sexual intercourse, that would be the way to go first until you find the right guy. Because number one, you can still be pleasured. You don't have to worry about any STDs. You don't have to deal with no emotional drama, none of that until you find the right person, and then you can build yourself up. So you start off with a smaller dildo, and then you invest. I mean, hell, she comes from a multi-million-dollar family. I think T.I.'s worth what, $50 million. Tiny's worth about 10. So they got the money over there. So you don't have to go to the Adam and Eve store. You can gonna have the product sent directly to you, or whatever website that you utilize. And you start off with the smaller dildo. Make sure you get you some water-based lubricant, because the oil-based will break down the toy. So make sure you have water-based lubricant. And you slowly, pleasure yourself, and you build your way up. That way, once you get to the real thing, because she strikes me as the type that, will want a black man, and black men are naturally blessed. And this is something that's not taught in, education. Like we talk about the birds and the bees, but we don't get into intricate details, especially of the black persuasion, because everything in school is taught from a Eurocentric perspective, even down to the images of the male cop. They don't discuss dick hunting. Yeah, I'm about to go there. I'm about to be vulgar. So if you have any children, matter of fact, you should have known by the subject of this video. It shouldn't have been no children watching this anyway. So if you have children in the room, go ahead and get them out now, because we about to really talk dirty that day. When I upload this on Saturday, this is going to be some Saturday naughty talk. But it's going to be some educational talk. So it's some teenagers in the room. You keep them there. Young children, get them on. Let them go ahead and watch Baby Doop 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 Doop, because they don't need to know about the doo-doo just yet, honey. So go ahead and get Nick Jr. on, and let them watch their Baby Shark or whatever. Or better yet, give them Boomerang and let them watch the good cartoons back before they fuck it up. Captain Planet, he's a hero. I'm gonna put pollution down to 0. Okay. I'm darn gonna reminiscing about the good old day. But let's get on back to this day about pleasuring down there, baby. So, getting back on subject, we need to get to discussing about sex toys. I know this is so darn gone taboo in our community. We don't want to talk about it, but it's definitely key. If you want your darn gone daughters to not be out there wanting to chase the real thing, there needs to be some sort of middle ground. And just telling them to use the fingers, that's not going to suffice. Fingers is not going to replicate the darn gone shaft, honey, especially of a dick cut. Maybe a cock, because some of the cocks can be 3 to 4 inches. But black men, especially in the ATL, honey, 9 by 9, honey, you ain't about to replicate that type of pleasure with the darn gone fingers. And then here's the bad thing: you darn gonna be like Tamara Mari if you want to, but you get with a black man, you might end up having your daughter have her first encounter, and then she down near the hospital, because now she done knocked the cervix out of place. She done got with somebody like darn gone August I seen her packing. And then since he wasn't darn on taught how to go in and maneuver, because we don't educate none of our children about about sex. We just allow them to be on their own devices, and they learn a little bit about, the avoidance of STDs and shit from, school. But we don't go into talking about, proper, techniques and all of that. So they're left to their own devices, and that means Pornhub, which gives an unrealistic darn expectation, because they look at a 45-minute video on Pornhub, not knowing that it was many pauses and takes in between. It was some camera editing. It was plenty of prep work done. Prep work with toys and all that y'all don't get to see on the camera. The video was filmed over a course of 2 days, and then they edited the 2 days worth of work down to 45 minutes. But you thinking that all of this is happening in real time when you're looking at porn. So now you got these young teenagers who is not realizing about the editing of porn, thinking that all of the porn is in real time, and they go in, and next thing you know, your daughter's in the hospital because she done got with a safari type dick, or she done got with a doggone August Alsina dick for the first time, and now her cervix is knocked out of place. Versus if you allow the discussion to happen with the females of the family. Because I don't want T.I. get your ass out the room when it comes to that discussion. Because I think that shit's awkward as fuck. We don't need no men in the discussion talking about actual pleasure of the female anatomy. So what you do is you get your darn wife and you get her mother up in there. And any aunties that still living, rest in peace to his sister that passed away. I know, and was it? Oh, my bad. I think that was his only sister. So I guess she don't have no aunts on the paternal side. But if, Tiny has some aunties, if Tiny has some sisters, get them into the conversation as well. More female, perspectives, the better. Get Shekinah Joe in and all of them. Matter of fact, aren't you best friends, Tiny, with Candy? Ain't Candy is like an auntie figure, and she owns. Matter of fact, this will be the perfect conversation with Candy. She owns a whole sex toy line. So instead of going to Adam and Eve, not only can you get your daughter dildos and stuff to prep her, so when she get ready to take the real thing, it would not be painful. Because we're so used to being taught from females that the first time has to be painful. And it's because of this darn biblical darn delusion that we have to wait until we find the right one. And then neither one of y'all know what you're doing. But the difference is between the guy learning how to do what he needs to do and the female, is the female that has to experience all the motherfucking pain. But it don't have to be like that if the female is able to get dildos instead to prep the vagina. So when you actually are introduced to a male that's welling down, it's not shocking to the vagina. Because here's another misconception. People think, well, because women are able to give childbirth, that you're naturally able to take a big old dick off the bat. That's furthest from the truth. Because the difference with, yes, you're able to pass a child through the vaginal canals. So you're thinking naturally any size dick will be able to slide on through there? No. Because you got to realize when you're pregnant, your cervix actually over the course of 9 months increases over 2.5 times its size. And your hips naturally spread when you're pregnant to prep for the birth. So it's not like you're giving birth with your natural body frame at this point in time. Your body has to go through a whole 9-month period of stretching your vaginal vaginal walls open, your cervix increasing 2.5 times its normal size to prep for a baby to go through. So don't think you're taking, a big old shaft up in there just freely without prep work. Or you're going to end up injuring yourself, or you're just going to be in a lot of pain on the first experience. And I'm trying to avoid my young girls from, because I know I got a lot of 18 to 26-year-old viewers as well that are female. So this is going to be key in that market for y'all. For my virgins that watch me, do not be afraid to go ahead and purchase a dildo. Start yourself out small. Matter of fact, don't even get the dildo yet. You can get you a little get the little beads. Get the little beads to go in, and then work your way up from there. And then go get your regular size, cock size dildo, 5-6 inches. And then build your way up to the massive ones. Don't be greedy and try to get the darn August I seen the size dick off the first go. Don't do that. Because just the girth size alone, it's not going to fit in off the bat. Go get your modest size one first and work your way up. And like I said, with T.I.'s daughter, she's not hurting for the money, so she can build up her collection. You're basically, your aunt is Candy. Your darn mama, your stepmama is basically like sisters with Candy. So if you need a discount or need some freebies, I'm sure Candy can hook you up. I don't know if she got the dildos though. Y'all tell me, because I know she got all the other toys, but I don't know if she actually has the actual big size replica dildos. If Candy don't, go to adamandeve.com down below. Honey, darn Adam and Eve need to give me a darn sponsor link or something. Maybe they'll come across this video and decide to give your girl a sponsor link. I'll actually do some reviews. If darn Adam and Eve or some sex toy that's a reputable company wants to darn sponsor your girl over here, I will gladly be the one to do the videos for y'all. Because actually, a little story about me is when I was going to go to school to be a licensed veterinarian, my minor was going to be in marine biology. A girl needed a job in between time to, pay the bills. And I was going to be in the adult entertainment industry. Not in that capacity, honey. Y'all ain't about to see this darn tush on camera, honey. Y'all was not about to see the world darn southern booty up on the camera. No. I would have been behind the scenes. I would have been, the prep girl, had the oils and stuff, making sure the toys and stuff is out. I would have been matter of fact, I was in marketing distribution for a very well-known company back in the day dealing with novelty toy sales. And I've also worked with Adam and Eve in the past with toy sales as well. So I'm actually giving a little bit of my professional advice on this. It's outdated, but, well, not really outdated, but I haven't, been in that industry in a minute, but the toys and stuff are still the same. And especially with the dildos. The only thing is different is the models that they use for the casting. I.e. Safari's darn dildo we have yet to see to this day. I'm still waiting on darn Safari's dildo. Now, this time, 2 years ago, he announced the release. Then he reneged on the release. Then he said he was coming back with the release. Then it posted dropped in February. Then it was pushed back to the summertime. Now, bitch, darn it's 3/4 past fall, and we about to enter into winter next month. And we still ain't seen it. We still ain't seen the release of the dildo yet. So I guess we still going to be waiting forever and a day for Safari. But you don't have to wait, for. I guess that would be problematic, girl, because with your connections, you might be darn tempted to try to get the real thing, and I don't want you to get your ass whooped by Erica Mena. So, second thought, don't you be waiting on the Safari dildo, honey. So, go get everybody else's darn dildo, honey. Second thought, I hate to even darn mention that on here. You might darn get Safari's dildo and be tempted to try to go after the real thing, and then if Erica don't whoop your ass, I might have to whoop your ass. So we ain't trying to get your ass whooped. You already darn low key. They say you're low key being abused down there by T.I. He's darn pussy watching. What he gonna do if he find out that somebody done slid up in the darn sugar bowl, honey? What are you gonna do when he find out somebody actually slide in the sugar bowl? That's what I want to know. But this really sparks a serious conversation in regards to dildos and female anatomy in prep work. I think, a conversation need to be had with Tiny, the girl's mother, because I don't know her name. I ain't watched The Family Hustle in so long, I done forgot the daughters' names. I only know the son, King, and Major, and that's only because they have names that's in the, the dictionary. But what to the girl that is T.I.'s daughter, what you need to do is stack up your money, stack up your little allowance that he's giving you, and get the hell away from him. Get the hell away from your father. Love him from afar. Cause I'll be damn, I'll be 18 years old, you motherfucker pussy watching me. Now, it should be a conversation about, not giving it, not dating down. Now, due to who you are and who you connected to, now, bitch, you don't need to be out there giving up the goodies for the first time. Now, he need to be telling you, now, if you're going to give up the goodies, which is inedible. I mean, you're very attractive. You're darn gone shapely. You in Atlanta, it's only a matter of time. You ought to at least give it to somebody that, can build you up, not darn gone somebody lower than you. So when you decide to give up the goodies, please do not let it be to somebody working at Walmart. And I ain't trying to poverty shame, but she does have something to lose. Because if she's not taught about proper, protection, because the way her father is going about doing it, he's not sitting down having a proper conversation with her. And that's going to make her rebel. And then she's going to fuck up and get pregnant by somebody who working at darn gone McDonald's somewhere. And then the way in this feminist movement that's going to work against the females, the darn gone father is going to end up getting some darn gone child support in some cases if you ain't careful. Because with the dysfunction with T.I. and his family, and I hope this ain't the girl that's going, no, that's darn gone Tiny's daughter. Tiny's the daughter that got also the color contacts. I mean, well, it's their real eyes, but they injected the eye color in their eyes, and she was going blind, so it's not her. But I don't know who T.I.'s daughter is. But as far as her though, I don't want her getting pregnant down in the ATL by somebody working motherfucking retail. Now, if the motherfucker owns the retail franchise, that's something different. But bitch, don't go get down there and give up your doggone peaches down to the doggone ATL to somebody working retail. Next thing you know, when y'all have shared custody, you got to come off the money. And then due to your celebrity name, you might have to put him in a doggone house and have security and all that. And you funding the bill because this Walmart budget don't doggone suffice for all the extraness of your doggone family's, status. Due to who damn, can I get my words together? Due to who you are, naturally you have to have some level of security with you, especially with your father now putting you out on Front Street for everybody to know who you are. So whoever you do get with and you get knocked up, you naturally need security by default. So you need to at least get with somebody who's of your status and height. Now, preferably not in the music industry either. Unless you be real careful to thoroughly check from the fuck boys, because that's what your father's really mad at. Because I don't even think he's really too worried about you being dumb enough to date somebody working retail. He's worried about somebody in the industry being able to brag up off your cooch, and then they use you in a diss lyric against him that that your daughter being ran through in the street. Like, no darn gone rappers, no rapper who's a father wants that stigma on them. And I think that's where the misogyny really comes in with T.I. That he's mad that somebody like the Game might run through his daughter or somebody like that. But I'm sure she can find somebody that is high caliber, make a good 6-figure salary at the minimum, that would be willing to court her. But she needs to know the proper tools of how to get those types of guys instead of, trying to preserve her virginity. Just with darn gone checking to hire them. Because like I said, you darn gone whenever she do find her Mr. Right, and he's blessed down there just right, it might be some pain tonight instead of pleasure. I mean, of course, the pain and pleasure go hand in hand, but you don't need more pain than pleasure on the first go round. And we are just naturally taught that the first time is just going to be excruciatingly painful, and you just got to work the pleasure on in. No! This is why dildos are key. Go get, not you, T.I., Tiny, Candy, go get her some dildos and teach her how to work them right. And if y'all feel uncomfortable having a conversation, then refer her to darn Mrs. Jada, honey. Jada don't mind darn giving the darn educational videos. You see how she darn was giving the education to Jada on the darn Red Table Talk. So going is, especially since y'all done made it public for everybody. Now this, me personally, I would say that this should be private talk. But since you done allowed your father to put your darn business out there on Front Street, he's reading your darn medical papers down near the radio stations and shit from what I'm hearing. You might as well capitalize off your own coochie. Why you letting your darn father brag on your... That's why I say that shit don't even sound right. That shit don't even sound right. That your father is darn in your goodies like that. Pussy watching. They don't sound right. So instead, I need her to be properly educated on, STDs, and, the proper techniques of, dildos in the vaginal areas. Making sure you're using, once again, the right lubricants. And then when you get the real thing, then you can switch up the oil-based lubricants or natural oils in general. You just can't mix oils with the toys because it breaks down the toys. Also, please do not be douching down there. Do not douche. Go ahead. There are plenty other natural alternatives down there. Avoid your summer. Now, this is the esthetician in me talking. So aesthetically, when the time comes, make sure you ain't shaving down there, because ingrowns and friction that causes an increase in discoloration. You might be light skinned, honey, but you still prone to hyperpigmentation down there. And a lot of black women are just naturally content with thinking that you supposed to have your inner thighs darker than what you are. That you're naturally supposed to have your pubic mound having bumpy ingrown hairs and all of that. We're naturally thinking that's okay. No. Also, we thinking that it's okay to properly cleanse down there with Summer's Eve. No. Now, that being said, I know there's a new craze going on, and I'm not don't come to me on this. So to all my people in Fayetteville, North Carolina, I do not do the vajacials. I don't do the vajacials like that, and I do not do the vaginal steaming. That has been a highly requested service amongst institutions lately, where we rip up the oils and stuff. Now, what I will do is I might contemplate on selling a kit. That way you can do it at home. But me personally, I be down there enough. Because as an esthetician, I will do Brazilian waxes, both male and female Brazilian waxing. That way you don't have to worry about ingrown hairs. It also reduces the discoloration that you get from your ingrowns. And shaving, because every time you're shaving, that skin is building up a defense mechanism, and you're causing it to increase in tyrosine synthesis, which actually, increases the melanin in that area. So your skin is responding to a form of pain, even though it's not painful to shave, but your skin is receiving it like pain, and thus it's being programmed, in your circadian rhythms that, melanin needs to be pushed to that area. And thus, as black people, we overproduce melanin, and thus we get darker in our scarred areas. So the trick to that is using certain tyrosine inhibiting products that is formulated safe for black skin. No hydroquinone, no bleach. Don't be out here on no glutathione injections. I don't want to see your ass is already bright, and they already accusing all the brown skin girls on a lot of end of the spectrum. They ain't talking about the brown skin girls like me. They now talking about all the ones that are already damn near light, like the Black Chinas, the Megan Goods of the world. They saying all of them now bleaching all of a sudden. I don't want you to be caught up in that stigma. But at the same time, if you do need some lightening products, here's another stigma that we need to get rid of. There is proper ways to lighten the skin, especially in certain areas such as your inner thighs, and around the anal canals as well, on the buttocks. That is safe for black skin, that is hydroquinone free, no mercury, and no other harsh, chemicals. And you will not have that ghostly undertone. You will still have your beautiful, rich complexion, whether you're naturally deeper brown, such as myself, you're chocolate, or if you're light, like T.I.'s daughter. That way, aesthetically, your coop cat looks good for that night. Also, we sell products, where you can get it in post waxing, because typically when you wax, we want you to wait about 24 hours. Because that friction, once again, on freshly exfoliated skin is going to induce friction and trauma, and you end up inducing too much thyroxine synthesis down there as a default, and then your thighs are darker and that top pubic mount is darker. Also, that shaving is causing all types of nicks. It's causing ingrown hairs, all in addition to that constant thinning out that epidermal layer down there. It keeps building up a layer of. But then again, I might need to do a whole nother video on this, because I'm about to go ahead and go into a whole aesthetic darn on tangent, and this is not even what this video is about. But to bring it back on the topic, when you get ready to darn gonna get it in, make sure that it's properly darn gonna prepped down there first. So aesthetically it's looking good. Odor wise, you ain't gonna be accused on being on no K Michelle shit. So whenever, because we need to talk about oral as well, if that ain't already happening, because that's another thing. Because like I said, she could be giving oral, but she could be receiving oral as well, and that ain't going to break the harem. So I'm trying to figure out, how do you not know that a man ain't already been downstairs as far as facing the place and just haven't penetrated? So it's so many sexual things that your daughter could be doing that does not break the harem. So I'm trying to figure out, who was the motherfucker that told you that harem checking is going to guarantee that your daughter's a virgin? But instead, you need to be teaching your daughter proper sexual education, and getting her to the right gynecologist that is going to encourage your father to be on the opposite side of the motherfucking door. Getting your daughter with a good esthetician in Atlanta, Georgia. To my Atlanta people, let me know if y'all need some referrals. I can shout out a couple of estheticians and electrologists that I can recommend in the Atlanta area. Hell, if the money's right, even I'll take a plane ticket out there. So if you want your girl to go out there, I do entertain certain, flight offers. But if you're in Fayetteville, definitely come down to see me. Also for the night, if you get wax, we do sell, post waxing bombs and stuff that you can hit your girl up for. That way your stuff is still smooth and bare, but you ain't having to worry about getting discoloration. Also, lightening kits and treatments. Once again, hydroquinone free. So aesthetically, when that night comes for T.I.'s daughter or anybody's daughter that's watching this, your outside goodies is looking good. Also, your natural soaps, pH formulated. That way, you ain't throwing off the pH down there. On the outside only. Your darn gone your vaginal area is self-rejuvenating. You do not need to douche, because technically you're supposed to have a condom on anyway. Don't if it ain't your husband, there should be no wall dogging. And even then, there should be proper, tests to ensure that both parties are STD free before any raw action is going on. So whether it's your fiance or soon to be husband, there should still be some testing first, and there should be some monogamous, going on, the lower the chances of STDs if you're going to be condomless. But before penetration, once again, I definitely think the toys are key. So what are my female thoughts on educating your teenage daughters on the toys? Like I said, that would be the best way to go. And with her darn on auntie being Candy, I don't see why she wouldn't have a darn on endless darn on array of darn on sex toys. Hell, matter of fact, Candy might have those darn on body replicas that I've seen. Y'all know how they got the female blow up dolls and shit, but they got the male equivalent and everything, where it has the abs and the shaft and the multiple darn on setters and shit. Hell, you darn gonna gift her that, she won't even need a darn on man until she find the right one to take her out of darn on T.I.'s house. That way she don't have to be financially obligated to darn on keep her jewels closed down. Cause that's what it really boils down to. He's dangling his finances of keeping her a lavish lifestyle kept up under the contingency of her being a darn good-looking darn virgin. Your darn daughter looking darn smoking curvy high, but you want her to have these non-qualities while your darn sons who are not even legal are getting it in. Now, how does that make sense? Because now I know one thing for certain, two things for sure. It's been some years since I watched The Family Hustle, but I know damn well neither one of them sons are grown. So I'm wondering, which one of them was getting it in, I know they teenagers. Why is you not just as strict on them compared to your daughter who's actually grown? Number two, why isn't Tiny and Candy having this conversation with your daughter instead of you? Number three, why is we harem checking when there are so many ways to have sex without the harem being broken? Number four, why do you not encourage your daughter to darn invest in Candy's products instead? And that way she can preserve her virginity and still be pleasured. And then when she finds the right one, it would not be excruciatingly painful. She would be able to, take a 9-10 inches off the back. And then, properly educating her to find the right mate to hook up with so she don't end up getting with somebody like the game or somebody like that. Those are my thoughts when it comes to this fiasco with Tiny's daughter, but this can apply to anybody. Now, of course, not the celebrity standard of your daughter, being publicized with her information on national syndicated television and radio. The average person don't have to worry about that. But as far as everything else in this video, this can apply across all tax brackets. It don't matter if you on a food stamp budget or on a multi-6-figure or 7-figure income. There's toys at every price bracket. There are some affordable dildos that can be as low as $29.95. And they are not cheap quality either. Good low price, but still high quality dildos. That's why I said Adam and Eve, I definitely know is reputable. And then a couple other sites as well. I will leave them down in the description box below. Along with Candy's website, because once again, we want to also, shout out black-owned businesses, even in the novelty section. So if you're going to go there with buying novelty items, I would suggest y'all check out the black-owned business first with Candy's website and see if she got the, appropriate toys. And if she don't, then go to the white-owned sites and get it. Sometimes our black-owned businesses do not be matching up, so every now and again, we got to go to our white counterparts. But make sure y'all check out Candy's first. And y'all know I live in North Carolina. And I got to have this fan on because the heat, it's the weirdest thing in North Carolina. Like, it's cold, but at the same time, I get hot as well. And no, I'm not going through no motherfucking menopause. It's the weirdest thing, though. It's like I got to have this. And not only that, but y'all know my walls are thin. And my fan somehow drowns out the sound of my voice. That way, my neighbors, even though they are all the way on the opposite side, my voice can't pick up. Because when I don't have the TV or nothing on, we can hear conversations very clearly. So that's why I also have my fan on to drown out my voice as well. Y'all can't pick up the fan noise on the camera, but the fan, it's, bitch, I don't know physics, but somehow the air of the fan dilutes my noise, the noise of my voice from projecting across the walls. To my darn scientific people who know physics, y'all, break that down for me in the comment section. But yeah, another reason why I have the fan on, that gets my nose stuffed up in every darn video. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below, ladies, on this. Once again, what are y'all thoughts on T.I. pussy checking his daughter? What are y'all thoughts on this this false notion of checking the harem for virginity? Do y'all think y'all daughters? I actually think it is. It shouldn't be no discussion, but I will leave all the questions down below. So check the comment section. Let's get the discussion going. Share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah. I'm going to find some way to do my videos where I'm not doggone looking like I'm about to bust down crying and sniffing every video, because I can't keep doing this every single video.